That was way too loud.
Definitely.
Welcome to Dude Awakening, episode number 7 with co-hosts Scott Busby, what's up? And my co-host
Nick. How's it going, everyone?
What up, everybody?
Scotty, I know 7 episodes, yet it feels like we probably made 30 by now, or trial and error, that kind of shit.
And I think so far only like 3 of them are like salvageable to actually like post.
For real.
Yeah. Keep learning about this. Every time we do a recording is we figure out a little bit more on how to make this better. So we've got a new camera for Nick because a couple of the recordings, it just got super fuzzy and blurry and, I mean, probably saving the audience from having to see your
I
face.
knew you were going to say some fucked up shit and making fun of this is the moneymaker right here, okay? You're just a creative talent. You make people laugh. Everyone wants to see this shit, though.
All right, fair enough. I mean, hey, dude, I'm like wearing like the same t-shirt from last night, dude. Like,
I'm like,
yeah, whatever.
But no, and there is going to be an evolution of all of this. And I do think we're learning more. Thank God you know more than I do about this shit, or we'd still be on the first episode.
Bro, and I don't really know very much, so.
But you're Texan.
I mean, I can figure things out, but it takes me way longer. Like, I would love to have a producer on this that knows what they're doing and just like knock it out and it would sound great.
Have everything ready to go. We just sit down, they hit the button.
Yeah.
We're fucking ready to go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And when you look at these like big podcasts, these guys will have like
30 people.
A whole team. And there's one person that's just pulling up funny stuff and like soundboard and like, oh, hey, we're talking about a video. And it's like, oh, hey, check this out, you know? So anyhow.
Well, they have people like fact checking, you know, so they have something to go off of.
Yeah.
And you know,
well, I'm doing some of that on my side, you know, like if you want to, like, I want to do a whole segment where we talk about like, I just show you funny videos and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like, have you ever seen that cat lady that, dude, this is an old YouTube video. It's like,
no, I don't even watch that shit.
Bro, she's like, yeah. Anyways.
What does she do?
I gotta just show you.
You gotta just show them.
I gotta show you. We'll come back and show that.
Do you think that you're gonna be able to pull it off without ending the recording?
Well, we should probably start it in the beginning instead of like the middle where we just lose a bunch. Yeah, let me give this a whirl, dude, and see if I can make this happen. So I'm gonna pull up a browser here.
Nice. Cat lady?
Dude, it's cat. It's
house or
cat massage.
She massages cats.
Yeah, dude, and
that's fucking creepier than.
And she has a whole video about it. Here we go, dude. We got it. You ready? You ready to see cat massage, dude?
I think.
Oh, geez,
bro,
you gotta chill. That didn't get recorded. That's just in our ears. All right.
That was so fucking.
I know.
I'm trying to kill me.
I will work on that, dude. So here's what we're gonna do. So you're gonna. I'm gonna.
Turn that volume.
It's all the way off, dude.
Thank you.
Okay, and I'm gonna go past the freaking ad. All right.
Cat lady massaging cats.
All right, so there we go. So I'm gonna turn on the volume here, and then what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna share. We gotta share this screen, and we're gonna go to a window.
Just one cat, or is it like she's got?
Yeah, there we go, dude.
Are these her cats, or do people pay her to massage their cat?
Just these to watch.
Wow.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Go full screen, hit play here.
Champion?
Dude.
It's time for cat massage. Petting is just randomly petting. Most people will go mid-back. If we understood fluent meow, our cats would tell us that petting is passe, because your cat wants a massage. No oils or lotions are needed. Cat massage even helps some cats tolerate a bath. But I don't think we'll be showing that. Hey, Champ, now that we've told our friends about the benefits of cat massage,
that cat is sedated.
How to do it. If you're right-handed, use your right hand. Left-handers use left.
That's a tiger, lady.
Try using your left and vice versa. Good for you. Use 2 hands to double your pleasure and double your fun.
Of course. Everybody knows that.
Relax. You have the best teacher available.
Dude, this lady's
your cat.
Cuckoo.
Here's how Champ taught me. Remember the old Simon and Garfunkel song?
No, I don't.
Slow down.
You move too fast.
That says a lot about life and about cat massage. What may seem
That says a lot about life and about
It's
cats.
so appropriate to your feline.
Appropriate.
We touch all the time, so why not be the best at it? Like this touching fairy. Caution, if your kitty doesn't like her fur disturbed, she may tell you to shuffle out the door.
Ooh, that's the ruffle
Caution,
shuffle.
either they like this or they don't. Caution, this is tender territory.
Tender.
A whisker watch alert is in effect here. Remember,
What?
a major whisker watch alert is in effect here. Is your cat
Yeah,
attacked?
I think I've had enough of
So,
this lady.
cat massage
It's almost
will have
over.
his
Is she
best
even massaging
mega meow moments. We call it power purring.
That cat sounded annoyed.
In this case,
Yeah.
a drooler is not a person specializing in rings and watches. It's a cat who's so wrapped up in enjoying a massage that she forgets to swallow, and then she drools.
I
What
hate
the-
I hate when they forget to
Sound.
swallow.
This is a very expressive and unconscious form of approval. Remember, you can't fool drool.
No.
The front of your cat is
Okay. Enough.
I'm good on that.
Enough.
So many questions.
Okay.
about this lady. How that looks like it.
Our leg, we're still recording. I just want to let you know. You see the recordings going on there?
This time I'm proud.
All right. I pushed the right buttons this time.
Fuck yeah.
All right, cool.
How old was that?
Oh, I don't know, dude. What year was that?
She looks like she's dressed like
Oh, this has got to be like early 15 years ago.
late. What? 15 years ago.
Yeah, that would be 2009.
That lady looks like she's dressed from like the early 90s.
I mean, yeah, it could be. I mean, it could have been that somebody just took that video from the 90s and then
I would imagine.
posted it. Yes.
So that if we zoomed in on like this, oh my god,
Dude.
who gave? She doesn't have any real friends. Because if you came up to me like, "Hey man, I got this idea. I'm going to do a video recording of how to properly pet my dog," like, don't do that. That's me. You're good.
I don't know. Maybe she doesn't have any friends, dude.
I don't think so.
She doesn't have any friends. So yeah. Oh, dude. So yeah, it's Friday, and yeah, dude, this is super exciting.
Super exciting. You look tired. You had a long week or something.
Yeah, I did. A lot of comedy.
Well, yeah. I mean, so you have to apologize to those of you that are listening or hanging in there with us. We've actually noticed some people the watch number, whatever.
We've to date we've posted 2 episodes of Dude Awakening. The very first episode, we recorded it. Nick and I talked for like almost 2 hours, and I went to edit it, and there was no audio recorded whatsoever. So if you're wondering why there's no episode number 1, it's because we might just post at some point. I want to just like dub in, you know. That reminds me of a joke, actually.
Hold on. But even though it wasn't recording audio, right?
We have the video.
We have the video. I know that. I know we have the video. It wasn't recording audio. Does that still mean it wasn't picking up the word? Like,
how would it pick up the words if it didn't record audio?
But
unless you bring in a lip reader, dude.
And that's just it. So it's
That's what That's what you call. That's what you call a blind gynecologist.
Reading lips.
Yeah, lip reader.
Dude, lucky bastard.
Yeah.
That would actually kind of suck. No, so I mean, yeah, we missed out on that, and that was an episode to where we introduced ourselves.
Yeah, we introduced the concept of Dude Awakening. We introduced ourselves. We introduced kind of like both of our stories, our histories of how we got to this point, how long we've known each other, all of that stuff. But I mean, dude, that took so much energy to share all that stuff.
But it was really fluid.
It was good, but I mean, I feel like we've already done that. Like, I feel like if we're going to do that, we need to bring in like another person that it's not just like me retelling you the same stuff and vice versa.
Okay.
I think it'd be better that way if we did it that way.
What you want to do with like Jones, since he's
all
3 of us rehash.
Dude, it's not going to be safe for kids if he comes on this.
Well, we know that.
Yeah. Well, not like this is safe for kids anyway. But yeah. Jones, dude. Yeah. I would. Yes, we could do that. That would be good. That would be good. He would just call us fags the whole time.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
He would. Or like, yeah, he'd have a lot of cuss words, a lot of derogatory comments.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be too bad. But
well, he's got to come on at some point. We just got to get him to come down from Northern California. We're talking about our buddy Jeremy. We'll try not to throw any last names in here, but if and when he comes on,
Pretty sure we already have another episode.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, we're safe.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to shy from us using any one of the names that we have for him.
No.
Really cool. But so we're not, didn't really have an agenda to watch Cat Lady at all. That was entertaining. A minute and a half of my life will never get back.
Well, I want to do segments like that.
Yeah,
There's so much stuff like, I was watching one today, to quote Your Mom's House, which is one of my favorite podcasts. I love, Tom Segura stuff, but
You're the man.
they were watching a video of it was like two gay guys. I don't know if it was two gay guys or a straight guy interviewing like a gay guy at some like festival.
Mm-hmm.
And the gay dude, like, he was like, basically he was asking him like, dude, would you have sex with me? And he's like, oh yeah, hell yeah. And he's like, where would you come? And he's like, oh, I'd totally come inside of you.
Oh God.
And Tom and Christine were like, every dude wants to say that to a woman.
Yes.
But you can't get away with that.
No.
But gay dudes can get away with saying that to each other. It's like, straight men, we got to
walk a fine line.
Yeah. Because most women are like, dude, I don't want to be known as the chick that's like okay with being talked to that way. Not because other dudes are going to be grossed out by it, but every other girl's going to judge him.
But I don't think that kind of conversation would happen with a girl.
No, like, it was two strangers, like, walking up, like, hey, would you hit this? And he's like, oh, hell yeah. He's like, oh, yeah, hell, I'd come inside of you. And he's just like, whoa, dude, like, just a random stranger. Like, imagine saying that to a woman.
You get smacked or hit or kicked in the ball.
Absolutely.
There would be no... I think even a woman that would be accepting of that question privately, in public's like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah,
and would just react that way. Like,
exactly.
fuck yourself.
Yeah, Me Too movement.
Now, what would you do if a woman approached you and was like, hey, if we had sex, would you come inside me?
Look, there's a lot of factors.
No shit.
That you haven't, explained. Like,
sorry.
Who is this?
Hey, yesterday, when a woman came up to you.
Yeah. Because I'm such a big time comedian that they just do that all the time. Yeah, still waiting for that moment.
No, you're... Wait.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to be offered that. I'm not saying that I'm going to accept it. I'm not saying that I'm not. But
so what kind of factors would you need to, what do I have to disclose?
Dude, it depends on if I'm seeing somebody or not. It depends on, if I'm attracted to this person. Yeah. It depends on it depends on a lot of things.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Okay. So this brings up not an interesting point, whatever. I did a joke. Well, I was going to do a joke last night on stage. I didn't.
Ooh, let's hear it.
But I want to.
Okay.
I want to.
Give me.
And I told you this before, but I have dude, I couldn't sleep last night. And
did you have jokes as going?
Yes, dude, just spinning. It was like 5 in the morning, dude. And I'm just thinking about these jokes. So
were you laughing by yourself though?
No, I just I get these visions in my head. And it happens to me a lot, in the middle of the night, where I envision how good this joke could be. And then I'm so tired and I can't even see straight. And I try to pull up my phone and I write something obscure. And then I see it the next morning. I'm like, what the hell is that?
What was I thinking?
But this is already a concept. Usually what happens is I have a concept of a joke and that I'm working on. And then some element just pops in my head in the middle of the night or first thing in the morning, whatever. I wake up randomly or I have a dream about it. It's random. But okay.
Last night you're sitting there thinking.
Came through
Scotty B's head.
Okay. So first of all, let me preface this joke with the fact that I think that everybody deserves the right to feel safe when they're taking a shit.
Okay.
All right.
In full agreement with you.
Okay.
Full agreement.
So the reason that this joke came up was I actually saw a thing the other day, a clip of a woman. There was a lesbian couple in New York. There's two women. They weren't trans. They're two women. One was clearly more masculine looking.
Okay.
And the more masculine one was required at some hotel was required to show her ID when she was going into the women's bathroom.
Whoa.
Yes. Okay. My personal opinion on that, before I go into this joke and say some fucked up shit, my personal opinion on that is, first of all, I don't think that politicians really want to fix that issue because there are a lot of people that feel uncomfortable in bathrooms. right? There are a lot of people that,
Public bathroom.
yes. They don't necessarily fit in one or the other. Like there's a lot of different things. And even like going back to like junior high, dude, I had bitch tits in junior high. I was talking about this yesterday.
Okay.
And I had bitch tits in junior high. And like I was so like for like a year, I was so deathly afraid
Taking your shirt off.
yes, and doing all that stuff, right?
That kind of shit.
How many kids are traumatized because other kids like you tease them? I'm just kidding. You never
bullying.
no, you weren't. But you know what I'm saying, right? Is there's a lot of kids that, and there's a lot of kids like the whole trans things and kids are not feeling comfortable. Like kids that are born like intersex, dude, that are like they have sex organs of both male and female. Yeah, well, I don't think that's the right term anymore. I think intersex is the term now.
So did I just offend some people?
I think it is.
I apologize.
But
uneducated.
But I know that you weren't trying to be offensive,
No.
and we're both, whatever. But my point is like I understand that dilemma, right?
Yeah.
I have different opinions on other aspects, like of women, trans women playing sports against other women. Like I have a different opinion on that. Okay, but
bathroom use.
But my point is that problem is so easy to fix. That problem is so easy to fix. All you have to do is just make all bathrooms gender neutral. Make every bathroom experience at every restaurant, at every hotel, everywhere you go where there's a public bathroom. There's a restaurant that I went to, and it's a bar and restaurant. It turns into like a club at night here in Orange County. But they have, when you go to the bathroom, there's no men's or women's. Yeah. You go up and there's just a big sink with a bunch of faucets and soap and a big mirror, right? So anybody can just go up there and wash your hands, like, and everybody can see into there. You're just washing, like, who cares if you're washing your hands? Nobody needs privacy.
Yeah, no big deal.
Then on either side, they just had all of these stalls with doors that went all the way from the ground all the way to the ceiling.
You can crawl.
And you could close it all the way. You have complete privacy. You can't see in. You can lock it from the inside. And inside there's a toilet, there's a urinal, there's a sink, there's a mirror. You have everything that you need in there, right? There's no confusion there. The problem is solved. Like everybody should have the right. Okay. I'm saying that because I understand that is a problem. And I want everybody deserves the right to feel comfortable when they're taking a pee, taking a shit. All right. I am an ally in that regard. Now, with that said,
here we go.
I think that hooking up with a trans woman is like eating a vegan burger. That's not a burger. That's not a burger, dude. That's not a burger. Look, I believe everybody has the right to be a vegan burger and identify as just a burger or eat a vegan burger. But you would never catch me dead eating a vegan burger.
Because they don't taste right.
At least not when my friends are watching.
No.
Right?
No.
But also I thought about it. I was like, okay, I'm disgusted by the thought of a vegan burger.
Okay.
All right. Okay. You can listen to the analogy and you can read into this if you want, because there's a lot of comparisons here, but I don't like, I think it's gross. I don't like them.
Yes.
I don't want to eat them, but it depends on the last time I had a burger. Like how long ago has it been since I had how hungry am I?
Right.
So I'm really hungry. I haven't eaten anything in a long time.
No burgers to choose from.
I might let a vegan burger suck my dick. All I'm trying to say. All right. So going back to your original question, there's a lot of factors in there.
Yes.
There's a lot. When's the last time I ate a vegan burger?
Have you ever had a vegan burger?
Wait. Are you asking directly if I've eaten a vegan burger, like a garden burger, veggie burger?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never. Just 100% all beef patties for this guy. No, dude.
Yeah, I know.
To answer your question, no, I've not hooked up with a trans person. And I don't want to. But that doesn't mean I judge somebody else if they want to do that. Like, oh, dude. I think everybody should be able to be who they are.
100%. We've had multiple conversations right? Everybody should be comfortable to be who they are and who they are with whomever they want to be with that, right?
Yeah, like you shouldn't
be in between, all around, like whatever. Go ahead, have fun. Just don't force any type of stuff like that on me. It's like, okay, I'm not going to I can disagree with what I would do in regard to what you would do. But also at the same time now, I'll just be able to make light and fun of anything. Like I love it when you make fun of heterosexual guys. I love it when you make fun of heterosexual women. I love it when you make fun of gay. All of that, like all those jokes are there because it's not hurtful from you. But that analogy, the joke was fucking genius, right?
Thank you.
That was, and you're sitting there thinking about that at
in the
night,
middle of the night
alone. You're thinking
last night wasn't alone, but
you're thinking about vegan burgers when you're alone,
dude. So I know, so dumb.
That's
so
awesome.
So dumb.
Mm-hmm.
So dumb. But yeah, I mean, that's okay. So that's a joke that I'm going to develop because I think it has legs. But also, like, I want to make
strong ones.
I want squat so much. Those vegan burger legs are way stronger than regular legs. Yeah, dude. You know, I personally think that like we should be able to make fun of everything or nothing because everything is gonna offend somebody. You know.
Oh, shouldn't.
Yeah.
But,
dude. So I told another joke last night. This one.
Okay. What we haven't done, and and it's cool because we've had other guests to, I guess, essentially interview and know and get their perspective on things. But I wanted to ask you more about your stand-up, more about developing jokes, because I was, I've been able to join you for a few open mics and shows, and it's been great. And then there's some that I haven't been to.
That crowd on Friday was rough, dude.
Yeah, they were rough. They sucked for everyone. Like I don't even care. I don't understand how people didn't laugh at everyone except for that fucking guy with the pop stick.
Yeah, that was kind of weak sauce. But
that's fucking weird. But anyway,
I might meet that guy and become friends at some point. I don't want to like talk shit, but whatever. I don't know that dude.
But what I wanted to I want to just get caught up on some of the jokes that I haven't heard you say.
Okay.
I want to, I'm always inquisitive about like, how do you develop this? Because I've been there for some that you've just said out loud in regular conversation. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
You just came up with that on the fly or just like naturally comes to you. So I haven't been to a couple of shows that you went to in Oceanside.
Yeah.
Didn't go to the one last night. Or no, was it last night?
Yeah, it was last night.
And then haven't been to Monday night a couple of times.
Yeah, Monday night's rough. So I do an open mic at a local brewery here, and it's kind of rough because it's mostly just comedians. And then there might be like a couple of like random stragglers. The thing about open mics, dude, is that, I mean, I think it's so much easier to get laughs at an actual comedy show where people have bought a ticket and are sitting down and they're there for comedy. Yes. Most of these open mics are people that are just like, oh, maybe I'll check that out, And look, dude, like the whole crowd behavior, like, the mob mentality where it's like, a bunch of people might do some stupid shit in a mob situation when there's a big crowd and like people are protesting or whatever. Like, what? People might do stuff that they normally wouldn't do. Yes. Yeah, they get caught up. The same thing holds true when you're in a comedy show is when other people are laughing, you're more likely to laugh, and it's contagious. And
and the exact opposite. If people aren't laughing,
yes,
you don't want to laugh.
Correct.
Because there were
a
couple of, not just you, but there were a couple of people that said some racial, sexist, whatever
on stage.
And I get it that they're telling a joke. And I had a heavy giggle laugh.
Yeah.
Other people are like, oh,
yeah,
don't say that.
Well, the other problem too was that there was that big fan in there blowing air in there. And from the stage,
you couldn't hear shit.
I couldn't hear people laughing. I could only hear the fan. So also, I'm sure people probably felt the same way as they couldn't hear other people laughing. So that's like a part of it too. That's like, the more you can hear other people laughing, the louder it's almost like you have permission to laugh out loud too. You know what I mean? So, I mean, look, there's a lot of other factors in there. And I take those things into consideration. I was up there and I'm like, people have asked me like, have you bombed? And I'm like, kind of, but I've never gone up and not got any laughs.
Right. And that's bombing.
Yes.
Bombing is not getting any laughs.
Yeah, but I mean, I think as, look, I'm not by any means a seasoned comedian. I think, actually doing comedy, I'm like, 4 months in, but,
You're still breastfeeding.
yeah, but yes, yeah, every chance I get. I think that, look, dude, if I get some laughs, it's cool, but I am more going to judge, like, if I get a lot of laughs in open mic, I know that's a winner. Because if, and also there's certain people that will go to these open mics regularly. And if I get a laugh from them, I'm like, all right, because those people like are my people, So
Now, how often are you running into not running into, but seeing the same comedians in Ocean? Is like
all
the
it's all,
same group
yes,
every single
yes,
time?
yeah,
Because there was 3 people, the one that we went to up in Anaheim, that were at your actual first show that we all went to.
yeah. There was one dude that was
Yeah.
in the show.
There's 3. Trust me.
Dylan, yeah, I think Dylan was there.
The dude that made fun of his dad.
Yeah, and Tanner. Well, no, Tanner wasn't at that
I
one.
was not at that one.
Yeah, there could have been. There was a few dudes. I mean, look, there's a crowd. I mean, we all go around to kind of the same places.
Mm-hmm.
So there's guys that regularly will go to the show in Oceanside. The show at Oceanside is the Jazzy Wishbone, and it's put on by Kyle Dean, and that dude's awesome, man.
I met him at the brewing thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
He's awesome. No,
Yeah, he wasn't on or anything. He was just there. Because you were saying, hey, when can you get me on? Like, get me like on the show before the actual open mic.
Oh, yeah.
So I met him.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's awesome, dude. He's a super cool guy. Puts on a great show. Like, does a good job. But yeah, dude, he laughed at my intro last night, and I was like, when he laughs at my stuff, I'm like, okay, I appreciate his sense of humor. That's another thing is like when other comedians laugh at my stuff. Like there was other comedians that were in the show that stuck around.
Nice.
Dude, I felt really good. I mean, the crowd was pretty sauced, but
Again,
yeah, but the crowd was like, bring him back after I finished, which was
nice.
rad. But so my intro was,
did it get recorded?
Yes. I don't have it on me, but yes, it is.
Because that's also what I would like to do when we have these, just you and I, and we're talking about your comedy. Is like have
dude, critique it, bro.
Critique it. Not critique it.
You
I will. Yeah.
And nobody's gonna critique me. Nobody's gonna critique me harder than me.
True.
I already know that.
Okay.
So, but okay, so I mean, that's the thing is I don't feel like I've ever really completely bombed where nobody thought it was funny. Usually if I bomb, it's usually like most of the dudes think I'm hilarious and the women are just disgusted.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's part of, look, and I have female friends where I've talked to like, look, some people just don't understand that side of comedy of talking about really messed up things, right? Like I had a full conversation with a girl that I know really well, and she was telling me how she doesn't like Matt Rife, and she was like disgusted by him joking about domestic violence, like hitting a woman. And while I agreed with her that beating a woman is not funny ever, I tried to explain to her that comedy kind of plays this role in society where by bringing to light these taboo subjects and then making light of them, even though the comedian isn't really saying, hey, it's okay to beat your wife.
Girlfriend, your wife.
Yeah, it's not okay. My thought on it is, it's like, it's yes, it sucks, but if you have been in a domestic violence situation and you're suffering, like, we need to be talking about it in society. And I think without comedy, that might never, ever get brought up to the point where something actually gets done about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so comedy has kind of played this role in society where it's bringing these taboo things to the surface,
poking the conversation,
and bringing it to people's, like, I don't know what, the front of their mind by making a joke about it.
Okay.
And so that it's something that is talked about, right? If you don't like, Matt Rife making a joke about it, do something about it. Like, let's get rid of domestic violence so that, laughing about it is like, laughing about slavery in 200 years ago. Like, okay, you can make a joke about it, but hey, at least we're not doing it anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's a bad example, but what I'm saying is like,
I get what you're saying.
right. So anyways, that we just totally went off subject, but
let's talk about comedy.
But so going back,
Not funny comedy.
but so, anyways, I don't know what you asked me. I don't know why we went down on that topic.
No, you went down that topic, but I'm trying to interject, and it just keeps on going.
Hey, you just told me to shut up. Yeah,
I will next time.
I'll just delete it.
No,
I'll just delete that section.
But no, it's just I want to know like how last night went.
Yeah,
sure. And I just want to hear jokes that I haven't been able to hear. Now you attempted to tell me when we're just hanging out. I'm like, no. I want an honest reaction when we have time to talk about it, on the podcast. So hit me with it, because I know that you do appreciate certain comedians laughing at it, right? Or even a group of comedians that you don't even know laughing at each other, because those are your peers. Yeah. Right. Yes. I feel the same way in what I do for a living. Like when other of my peers, whether they work with me or they don't, just acknowledge my efforts. It's like, oh, hey, thank you. Yeah.
Yes, I appreciate when certain people laugh at jokes. Anyways, my intro was, somebody told me the other day that I look like I could have lived in OJ's guest house.
Oh my God.
It's a Kato Kalin joke, I talked about Kato for a second. I was like, dude, Kato didn't do anything other than live in OJ's guest house. Yeah. And I'm like, guilty. If OJ was like, yeah, dude, you can live in my guest house for free. I don't know, I mean, I don't, whatever, like, dude, just ride on OJ's coattails. That was before he most likely murdered, his ex-wife and Ron. Yeah. But anyways, that was my intro, because it was funny. I told somebody else about that, and she was like, what? Like, she didn't catch the reference. And I was like, do you know who Kato Kalin is? It's like, no. And I pulled up a picture, and she's like, oh, yeah, I see it.
How old is she?
34.
And she didn't know Kato fucking...
She knew who he was, but like, roundabout. Anyways, there were some older people there that were older than me or my age that got that reference.
Real?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so that was a good intro. And then I talked about how, I'm trying to come up with all these like intros, like going back to, usually when I feel like I've bombed, every dude in the audience is laughing at my jokes and every woman is like disgusted by it. I feel like the women would, so certain people would feel more inclined or more comfortable to laugh if they first know, like, you'll laugh at my stuff that, like, I might say something really messed up. Like, my mom might be like, that's bad, Scott, or whatever.
That's hilarious.
People in my family that know me really well, that know that there's no malice behind it. It's just literally connecting the ideas in a funny way on something that might be really messed up. Right. And
okay,
then
so wait on. So you feel that someone would laugh. You're talking about boyfriend, girlfriend, guys, and women.
If I can introduce myself to them in a way that makes me basically like a self-deprecating, makes fun of myself.
Yeah.
Where I can kind of, that's kind of what you want to do in the beginning. You want to endear, like the first minute or so, you want to get the crowd to like you, and so I just, I've tried all these jokes where I've tried to make fun of myself. Where I'm like, I look like one of those guys, that would never, ever, ever hit a woman again. Yeah. Until the next time I'm getting my ass beat by a woman again. Like, it's kind of funny, it's like, okay, and
not too aggressive.
Yeah. And then there's another one.
You're actually getting beat up by that woman. Even though you might have got a good ride in on her. Like,
yeah.
Still fucking you.
Yeah. I look like the kind of guy that would get his ass kicked by a woman and have to hit back. Like, that's what I'm trying to say, like, because my mouth gets me into trouble, dude. My mouth gets me into trouble. And that I'll follow up on that in a second. But what I went into is this was kind of the flow of my set was, I went into that and I said, I was like, yeah, I know. I got accused. I was like, where's all my Spanish speakers at? And there's a couple of people like, hey, Spanish. And one of the other comedians, this Mexican dude, he's like, oh, I speak Spanish. I was like, I don't speak Spanish. I'm like, you're like a taco from Taco Bell, bro. Like, people are laughing at that. And then I was like, yeah, I was like, I got a thing for Latinas, and one dude in the front's like, oh yeah, dog. And I was like, and he's sitting next to a blonde girl. And I'm like,
what the fuck?
Bro. And I'm like, this guy knows what I'm talking about, even though he's sitting next to a blonde. And I'm like, hey, there's blonde Latinas. Like I can dream, right? And I said, but no, somebody accused me of looking like the kind of person that would learn to speak Spanish, just to hook up with Latin chicks. Yeah. And I'm like, seriously? Like, imagínense ser una persona así que haría eso solo para hacer sexo con una latina. Imposible. And then I just said, I was like, imagine that. Like, no, dude, I don't even need to tell you. I'm just going to dub over the translation.
Subtitle.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Anyways, so then I'm like, yeah, I'm guilty of that. That's I'm totally that guy. I'm totally that guy. Yeah. And then I talked a little bit. Actually, I got to look at my notes and remember, dude.
Because, when we went to Huntington Beach and you did start with self-deprecating stuff and you went into the girls you dated.
Yes.
And one of them is I would say, sexist joke. I don't want to steal your thunder here. And
I can tell. I think I've told
there were like 3 or 4 women in that crowd, and one was sitting in front of us, right? Or where we were sitting before you went up. And dude, she was fucking like head over into her lap, like chuckling, laughing at that. So there you go.
Again, it depends on the audience, right? And I look at some of these comedians that are making it, and they've found their audience.
Yeah.
Right. So when you're going and you're selling out shows with people that already know your sense of humor and like your sense of humor, it's so much easier. You don't have to spend all this time, and I think that's the hardest part about doing comedy, getting started, is the audience one, I've got to be bold too. And I've got to realize, hey,
not everyone,
I'm going to bomb. And some people might think I'm a piece of crap.
Totally.
But look, I know that I'm not one, and it's just going up there and being like, look, dude, this is what it is. This is comedy. Like anything is fair game. Like, don't come to a comedy show if you're going to get offended. Like,
and still especially in this day and age, if anyone is a willing participant, any level of comedy, whether it's stand up mic or you're paying for the ticket, like, who are you to judge what you are subjecting yourself to? For real. Like nowadays, everyone makes fun of everyone, whether it's mental health, spiritual shit, religious stuff, sexist stuff, gender rules. Yeah, the list goes.
Dude,
I like get mad at that. It's kind of like,
no, it's dumb.
Here?
It's dumb.
Why are you even here?
It's dumb. I mean, look, I personally think getting offended at anything is dumb. Like, I understand there's horrible things in the world, but to make a joke about it, like, look, I don't want to let the horrible things in this world. I'm not saying that I'm like, I should just shut up now before I put my foot in my mouth.
Okay, then shut up right now, because guess what? The face hit me up.
Hey, dude, no, we're not going there.
No. But hey,
so
don't say what you're about to say.
Okay, yeah. Anyways, yes, and I have had people come up to me and be like, after the show, be like, dude, that joke was hilarious. And I've had people be like, yeah, I didn't really care for that joke so much. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the way it is. And like, to be a comedian, you can't like go out there and please everybody.
No.
And
I would say, like, even when you do have, let's say, you had a rough crowd, right? When you have a rough crowd, I wouldn't even let that stop you from saying those same jokes at like 4 other places.
Oh yeah,
that were still rough crowds, and just wait until you find that one not rough crowd that laughs their ass off at every single one.
Yeah, and I try new material. Like, so at this place in Oceanside, I've done. Dude, I don't know that I've done the same jokes there twice, and I think I performed there 5 or 6 times.
Nice.
So, I mean, but that's the point, is like, if I'm going to a different place, like, because in a lot of these places, they have some of the same people. every week, you know? And I don't want to do the same stuff to them. If I don't have something new, I'm going to hold off, you know, or I mean, look, I could do some of my early stuff. There's still some of my earlier stuff. I say early stuff, like 3 months ago stuff, you know, it's May, my January jokes, you know, but like, look, I went to a show, in February, maybe. So 3 months ago, and, a comedian that performed there performed last night in the show last night, and he did his exact same jokes that he did that night.
Weird.
No, so I think that's pretty normal.
Really?
In fact, I hear a lot of guys telling the same jokes because they have kind of like their set, you know? And for me, look, dude, I mean, I keep trying to write new stuff, and I keep trying stuff sometimes that like sucks and doesn't go over well. Like that whole like vegan burger thing, like I'm gonna keep working on that, and I'll start telling it to people, you know, and I'll see how it goes. And I might have another comedian come up to me afterwards and be like, "Oh, dude, that was so funny, bro." And then they'll like say something to me that'll give me an idea of like how to make it better. Or I'll be driving down the street and I'll come up with something. But, you know, just building out these premises, I want to get to the point where I have, you know, a couple hours worth of material that I can just mix and match and bust out depending on who the audience is, you know?
Right. And I've asked you a few times about your jokes you tell to get the temperature of the room, right? However, it can be a little bit difficult, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but when you have shorter sentences, right? So
Yeah, of course.
like a 5-minute, you're trying to get a bunch of laughs and telling maybe, you know, 20-second jokes type of a thing, maybe a minute joke type of a thing, and getting as many chuckles and laughs as you can. So it's like, how quick do you need to get the temperature of a room in a 5-minute set, or do you not care? You're just going to go with whatever you go with.
So I think about that. I don't know that I'm really advanced that much. So I was actually thinking about that last night as I looked at the audience, and I was like, should I tell this joke? What am I going to do? And I kind of put I kind of didn't know what I was going to do until I got down there. And then, I mean, I was hanging out for like 2 hours before I went up, but I was kind of piecing things together, thinking about it. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And then I got up on stage, and everything just kind of came together. And look, I am still learning how to interact with the audience.
Yeah.
I think that is something that I'm not great at yet. Like I can deliver a joke just fine, you know, but getting the audience involved and being like doing more like ad-libbing and like just feeling comfortable with that. I'm getting better at it's funny actually. I thought about this last
The
night.
first time I saw you do it was in Anaheim.
Yeah, so I'm doing more of it just kind of naturally, and kind of like I'm going into these situations like not as prepared with how long I'm gonna take to tell these jokes.
Okay.
And just being like, hey, this is what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna feel the crowd out, and I'm gonna talk to them and ask some questions and stuff like that. I'm getting better at it, and I think I'm getting more comfortable with just like not caring if I bomb or not.
Good.
Like I think, you know, I mean, I don't. It doesn't feel good to not get a bunch of laughs, and it's kind of, but also I'm like, it's not gonna stop me. You know,
It did.
somebody would have to like stab me outside, like after one of my jokes and even then, I don't think it'd stop me. Yeah.
No, because even you acknowledge it too. You were the first person to acknowledge it. That the crowd was rough, and then someone else did too.
Yeah.
You know, and I
mean, whatever.
You know, I think it's the same. It's the same exact thing as if you're ever feeling anxious about something. At least for me, I'll say for me, when I've been anxious, nervous, what have you, in some type of an interview or just to get up and give a speech to some people, because at work I do have to talk to sometimes like 100 people, and not a lot of people can do that. And if you just talk about it and laugh at yourself, kind of,
Yeah.
or just let it be known, it kind of like releases that power. But You actually even laughed when you said it. You're like, oh, this is something to the effect of, this is pretty rough tonight. Like, I don't know what, like, you know, at least I got 3 laughs out of you. Like, you know, kind of like back at him. Or you said something like that.
Yeah, well, I think when there's tension like that, you know, trying to release it by acknowledging it.
Yeah.
That's like I saw this dude one night, and I don't want to make fun of him, but like he got up on stage and he had a very strong list, and I was like, bro, that's got to be the first thing that you address.
Was I with you?
No, you weren't. That's got to. I don't want to say where I was because it could tip off.
Got it.
I mean, look, dude, I was like, bro, you got to address that, you know, like if there's something, if you're a comedian and there's something that is like
physically, whatever.
Yeah, like if you're missing a leg, you know, whatever, you know, if you're like, you know, a triple amputee, be like, I could swim circles around y'all, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? But that's all I can do is swim circles, but yeah.
Or everything else. Okay.
Yeah, but so, you know, it's you got to address those things, you know. And I don't have something that's like blatant like that, you know. But
You're ugly.
Yeah, there you go. You know, I look like Kato Kalin. You know, I look like a guy that still uses his car cigarette lighter. You know, like, you know, I look like a guy that would cheat on an important test you can't afford to fail, like a paternity test.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely cannot afford that.
And for those of you right now, he's not making fun of kids. He's making fun of the fact that he looks like a douchebag.
Yes, exactly. So, okay, so last night.
And then wait, sorry to interrupt you. Then you also have jokes that I've heard that go over the crowd's head.
Yeah.
Is that frustrating for you?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, yeah, I've had a couple of people tell me like I didn't get some laughs on certain jokes, and people are like, okay, well, there's one that I tell that.
Oh, going down.
Yeah, if you go down on a trans woman, is that still considered cunnilingus?
Yeah.
Or like, should I get my money back?
Yeah.
Or are all transactions final?
Yeah.
There's a couple of points to that joke. I mean, but some people don't know what cunnilingus is.
No.
And so, I mean, if I was going to tell that joke, I'd be like, you know, I would say that. I'd be like, hey, before I tell this next joke, does everybody here know what cunnilingus is?
But then it takes the power out of the joke if you do get it. You know,
Maybe. I don't know. It might make it funnier. I don't know. Only way to find out is if I try it. Yeah. So, okay. So last night I go in and I do the whole Spanish thing, and I'm like, yeah, man. And I was like, you know, do you guys like really messed up jokes? Like bad, like,
oh, you asked.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah. And I go, okay. I go, let me preface it with this. I go, I don't normally use this terminology in real life.
Ever.
And there was 2 black comedians that won before me, and the one dude stuck his head and he's all, hey man. And I was like, no, dude, we cool. I'm, you know, and I wanted to say this. I didn't. I go, the only N-word I want to call you is neighbor, bro. I'd live next to you anytime. You know, like I wanted to say something like that, but anyways, I did, but I was like, no, we cool, bro. I go, don't worry, just hear me out, dude. We're safe. Yeah. And I go, do you guys know the difference between a bitch and a slut? And they're like, no. And I go, well, a slut has sex with everybody, and a bitch has sex with everybody except me. And I was just like, and I like kicked the ground, and I was like, And then I said, there's just something about consensual sex that's just better. And one dude was like caught off guard, and he was like, wait a minute, hey, I just got that.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh my god. How did the crowd, like, as a whole?
They laughed. They thought it was funny. I mean, there was definitely more interaction with the crowd last night. And then I went into this whole bit about how my mouth gets me in trouble. And it's like, I said, you know, I'm 47. I just started doing comedy a few months ago. It's something that I've always wanted to do, but never, for whatever reason, didn't do it until now. And now I'm living out my dream. I go, but I've always been a comedian in my heart. Mm-hmm. I've always been the one that my brain will automatically connect the funny thing to something somebody says, like a teacher in school.
Whether inappropriate or not.
Yes. You know. And it's like, and I was like, I kind of think it's like a mild form of Tourette's. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like, it's almost like, yeah, dude. It's, you know, it's like those girls that, you know, I dated a girl once that like, she'd see another dog, dude, and she'd be like, I need to pet the dog. Can I pet your dog? And I'm like, she can't help it. She has to do it, right? And that's how I've always felt. And it's like I've gotten better at holding my tongue a little bit, like especially working in, in the corporate world and being in situations where I couldn't, but I got better at it, but I never wanted to hold my tongue. I always wanted to say it, dude. Like that's me. That's the way my brain has always worked, And so I get in trouble and I followed this up. Do you have a question or whatever?
I don't want to go off on a tangent. I was gonna.
Okay.
You're on point right now. I was gonna distract.
I followed that up with saying, look, I think it's like maybe kind of like a mild form of Tourette's, kind of, right? My mom, she thinks, or she thought it was like an addiction. And I was like, what do you mean? And so I told them this story about how, my Mormon mother, I grew up Mormon and I left the Mormon church and I was like, had just broken up with a girl that I thought I was going to marry. And I was at rock bottom, dude. I was like, I didn't know my place in the world. I was figuring myself out, and my mom was like, saw me struggling. And she's like, well, Scott, maybe you should go to this meeting that they have at the Mormon church on Wednesday nights. And I was like, well, what's that? And she's like, self-help group. She's like, oh yeah, they do the 12-step program. And I was like, Mom, 12 steps. Like that's for like alcoholics drug addicts, addicts. Right. And she's like, yeah, well, maybe you're addicted to being an asshole. Are you kidding me right now? Like, that's what you tell me when I'm like at rock bottom. I'm like, dude, I don't even know where I fit in this world right now. Well, maybe you're addicted to being an asshole.
Yeah.
Cool. So I went to the meeting.
Like a fucking true. Hey, like you're mama's boy.
Well, so I went to the meeting and then, I told them this whole story last night. I went to the meeting and, I get there. And I mean, if you can picture a 12-step program meeting, in the Mormon church, it's pretty much exactly what you would imagine. It's like you got dudes that are like, can't stop looking at porn and their wives are like, if you don't stop that, and
they would just have awesome sex and their husband, maybe.
Mate, well, no, dude, it's way deeper than that. And I get it, dude. Like, I don't want to go into the porn thing, but, and there was like different people there was people that had like really gnarly, serious problems.
Yeah. Not to make fun of what's.
Yeah, no, and I mean, a couple of people that are like addicted to Oxy, and I mean, like serious drugs and people that were serious alcoholics, and, all into this Mormon group. And I'm like, okay, I'm a single dude. Like, I don't have a woman that's mad at me for looking at porn. Also, I don't spend a whole day looking at it. Are you losers? Idiots. Lame. And then I'm not like, losing track of where my toddler is, like the dude addicted to Oxy, and I'm like, I'm not in the same boat as these people. I'm literally not like addicted to any sort of substance or anything like that, And we're going around in a circle and everybody's like, talking about their stuff. And I'm like, dude, I can't say that I'm addicted to being an asshole. I can't do that. Like, I'm going to, hi, my name is Scott. And my mom says, and yeah, by the way, I'm Scott and I'm like 35, 34, something like that. And I'm like, hi, my name's Scott. And my mom says that I'm addicted to being an asshole. Like, no, I can't say that. No. So it comes around and I'm like, what am I going to say? So I'm like, I'm Scott. I'm an addict. It's been 48 hours since my last Latina.
Oh my God.
No. And then I'm just like, ustedes ni saben cuando me encantan las Latinas. Dude. Yeah. And then my 6-month mark, they gave me one of those chips. It was the tortilla chip. Yeah. I forgot to finish with that. That was the closer, dude. That was the closer and I forgot.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, but that's, that's only the second time I've told that joke on stage.
Okay.
Then
I was there for the first.
No, the first one you watched, it was the one I did at Flappers in Burbank.
Oh.
Yeah, I had the recording of that one. But I haven't been recording a lot of these, and I've started to,
You need to have someone in the crowd record you, no matter what.
Well,
I think regardless if it's a tough crowd and, you didn't bomb, it's seeing if like the timing is just off or a little bit different from the other time.
No, I definitely need to do that.
And the body language thing.
Yeah.
Because there was the Flappers, was that in LA?
Yeah.
Okay. That show and the one that I went to, that we all went to, Garrett.
Yeah.
The Ring
Yeah,
Boys.
my first show.
You were so comfortable. You were sober. Like not even, did you even have a drink that night before you got up?
No.
Right?
No.
100% sober, very comfortable. And did it help knowing that there was a good number of people in the crowd that knew you already, as opposed to not?
I felt comfortable right from the beginning. No, I take that back because that was my first actual show.
Yeah.
And I had like 75 people there that came for me, and I was like, dude, this is a lot of people,
Yeah, the whole place was standing room only.
And I've talked in front of a bigger audience than that, like at church.
Okay.
But not telling jokes.
No.
I mean, maybe I'll throw in a little joke here and there, but I've spoken in front of, I think the most I've probably spoken in front of is probably like 300 people, 300-400 people.
Because I think like more rehearsal of your newer jokes and testing them out. Testing them out like that. Because up there, first night, or not first night, the night going, you did not need anything to look at. You told your jokes.
Yeah, I memorized everything.
Blew it. And that also has a lot to do with how funny someone is, right? It's, can you get through an entire 30-second, 1 minute joke without having to look at something and read it?
Yeah.
It's like, that's the whole ambiance of it. So like it adds to the comfort level and the buy-in from the audience.
Yeah. And I think at this point where I'm at, like, I'm such a harsh critic of myself. I think my stuff needs to be funnier. And I have people that are like, dude, that was hilarious kind of thing, And I'm like, I gotta be easier on myself, but also I kind of don't want to be easier on myself because I want to keep pushing myself somewhat. But like at this point, it's really just me doing repetition. And the hardest part is that the repetition at this stage for me is just going to these open mics and getting on stage and having that short period of time.
Yes.
And then working up to getting booked to regular shows every week where, maybe every Friday and Saturday night, maybe one weeknight, I'm actually booked on a show where I get 15 minutes.
Okay.
And I get it because dude, if I got 15 minutes, I can go and do my whole set. If I'm going all over, like, look, dude, like you look at like professional comedians that are on tour, dude, I could take a 15-minute set and I could go from city to city to city and I could perform that same 15-minute set
every single time.
Maybe throwing in a couple of new jokes here and there and performing that 100 times over a 6-month period.
Okay, so now
that's what a lot of these comedians do.
Right. But in order to get booked, how are you going about finding different open mics and having that exposure?
A lot of it is word of mouth. So, a lot of these open mics, I meet other comedians and then just network with them, and hang out and talk. And one of the things I want to do is start my own show where I would be maybe not hosting, but like promoting it.
Okay.
Where I am bringing in other comedians. So then it's kind of like, hey, I book you on my show, you book me on yours kind of thing.
Do I have to get on you about that? Because I don't want to say the name of the place.
Yeah, no, there's a couple of places.
Have you talked to them?
No, I haven't.
Okay, then so after this,
we can call
reach
them.
out
That's
to
cool.
them.
I will.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
But yeah, that's the next step is getting my own show, promoting that, and just, bringing on other comedians that I meet and saying the comedians that I like, right? Like, hey, I think you're funny, and I mean, just bringing, look, it's just like anything else look, you can be an amazing, hilarious comedian. Like you can be a savant and amazing and make it and rise to the top. But I don't think most people start off that way.
No,
right. And I see a lot of comedians that are not really big that have been doing it for years that, are pretty funny, but it takes it. I mean, it takes networking.
I think
it's about who you know.
Yeah. I was just going to say that. I tell my kids that all the time that 90%, maybe I'm overshooting the mark, but I'll just say like 90% of life is who you know.
Yeah.
Because I have worked with people in the field that I work in, or not that, but there are people that should not have a position or work for a company that do.
Yeah.
And it's because they knew so-and-so and they know so-and-so.
Sure.
Now, they don't always make it there for a long period of time, but because they know so many people in that community
Yeah.
that they can just go to a very similar company and get another job.
Yeah.
And then another job.
Yeah.
And another job. As opposed to
Yeah.
someone that does know someone, is good at their job, and rises through the ranks, or gets hired at the top anyway because of the fact that they're good at what they do.
Yeah.
So,
Well, what's interesting to me is like I look at, look, dude, this has been probably the most frustrating, also most like
liberating,
enjoyable, fun, like empowering experiences in my life. Like it has kind of been a spiritual experience for me to like be doing this thing that I know I can be great at. But also like having like it's something that there's been so many demons in front of me that have been trying to stop me my whole life from doing this, and finally saying, no, fuck this, I want to do this. This is what I'm meant to do. This is what's going to make me feel finally like I'm in the place where I should be, you know, because I have felt out of place in so much of my life, whether that was from church, whether that was from the careers I was in. Like I could do okay in the careers, but I just never felt like, dude, this is where I am supposed to be. And right now I'm like, I don't know that I entirely believe it yet, but I'm believing it way more than I did when I started.
Okay, you need to, because one of the reasons to where, you know, so I've said this to Scott, I'm going to say to all of you that are watching and listening, that I believe in him so much that I will 100% do everything I can to help him to where he deserves to be and where he wants to be. I think you do have it in you. And I have that feeling in what I do for a living. I know I was meant to do what I do for a living. And it's a job to where I have a positive impact on countless people. So far, like in the thousands. Right. And it just, I feel confident at what I do every day. A lot of people trust me. They count on me. And it's at the same time as it can be difficult or I have tough or hard days, it's also easy for me. And being funny is easy for you.
Yeah.
And seeing, and we've kind of talked about it before, but like seeing this change in you and all geared up for life, like I haven't seen this.
Yeah.
You know, you were really excited to be a Mormon. Like, okay. This is true. You were really excited to be a Mormon.
Yeah.
So that's saying something. I saw that. And like seeing this,
Yeah.
it's like, fuck yeah, I want to be a part of it in any way, shape, or form. Or I don't care if I'm in the nosebleed section clapping for you.
You're not ever going to be in the nosebleed.
No, I know, but I'm just saying like that's where I would be if that's where I needed to be for you. Like that's where I fucking would do.
Thank you.
So
yeah, dude. I mean, thank you. And I appreciate that. And also I was thinking about you, like, I think this podcast and just kind of, you know, a platform like this, I think you are in a position where you could also influence even more people, you know, by getting some of these things out. And, you know, I don't know what will happen with Dude Awakening. I mean, we just started down this path a couple months ago and, you know, we've kind of stumbled our way to this point. And I mean, I think every week we've gotten a little bit better somehow. You know, let's hope that this recording actually sticks. You know, and I think
does it? I don't give a fuck.
yeah, I mean we'll figure it out. But you know, I think that you know, that's part of what I have wanted. I've always felt like I wanted a bigger platform. Like dude, I think I've been, you know, misjudged by certain people throughout my life. I don't think that's the norm for me. I think anybody that's taken the time to know me knows that I don't ever do anything with any sort of malice towards anybody else, you know? Yeah, I'm a smart ass. Yeah, I joke about everything, but there's a deep belief inside of me that it's a message that I want to get out to the world. Like, and we were talking about this the other day at the beach, is that I think that there are two things that can save the world. The first one is being able to laugh at everything, specifically at yourself.
Yeah.
Right? That is the main thing, is being able to laugh at yourself. And it's so much deeper than that. Like, there's so much more to it. By being able to laugh at yourself, you have to first be honest with yourself, enough to be honest with other people, and then do the work to deal with the trauma that is associated with whatever that is.
Oh, yeah.
To then get to the point where you can laugh about it, right? And I have done that, and I mean, even before I did the work, I could laugh about stuff, I wasn't stoked on it, but it's like, I think that is the key, is by being able to laugh at every part of ourselves. We can, look, there's no more offense. You can't offend me if I can make fun of myself better than you can.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no offense. I have complete power over myself, and nobody else can take that from me. And I think that is the cure to everything that ails the world.
So laughing at ourselves, but also doing the work to heal whatever is bothering.
Yes.
I mean, a little bit heavier than bothering. Yeah. And you even talked about it earlier, and we talked about how I lost a loved one to suicide.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been able to say something lighthearted, not like, extremely disrespectful about suicide. However, you've said something when we're talking about a very sensitive subject, and it got a chuckle out of me, which made it easier to continue with the conversation. Like, now, try saying my loved one's name 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Just his name.
Yeah.
That would piss me off.
Sure.
Because I was living in Tahoe and I came home for, whatever, like the Christmas time, right? I was at a party, and this dude that you would remember we played baseball with, but he went to different high school. And he sees me, and I just see this huge look of excitement come over his face. I'm like, whoa, we weren't even that close to friends. Like, we were buddies. And he just grabs me and hugs me. And I'm like, yeah, something like that. I'm just home visiting. He's like, bro, someone told me you died. And he thought that it was me instead of TJ.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I forget who I was with. I think I was with Peluso.
No last names, bro. Stop. No last names. Because now I got to go back and edit that out.
You're welcome. Minute marker, what? I'm like, I'll figure it out. I'm the one that listens to this.
Yeah,
shows you like.
You're right. Hey, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm the one that has to go in and
so like, and heads turn. So we were with 3 other people. I'm not going to say their names. Heads turned, kind of got quiet.
Like,
and Ron ended up saying something. He's like, yo, dude, that one's TJ. Like, he says it all quiet and shit. Yeah. And tried to be all apologetic. And I wanted to fucking murder them. Because, again, I was still
because it was a tender spot, dude.
Yeah, still a tender spot. Didn't do the work. And that lasted for a long time. And now I can talk about them. I love them. I feel a big deal. And it's more of I've been able to use that experience, however unfortunate it was for me and my family, to connect with other people going through the same thing.
Yeah. Good.
And before I'd be like, not even one.
Well, I think it's I compare it to, like, dude, if you break a leg and somebody comes up and like punches you in the leg, like, oh, is your leg broken? You're like, dude, but after your leg has some time to heal. But what happens is, with emotional stuff, is it's not like a broken leg where it's like, you can't tell on the outside.
No.
Right? Because you're not like going septic and bleeding. It's like, if you had a compound fracture in your, bones sticking out your leg, you're just going to die.
Yeah.
But with emotional stuff, that stuff just, like, your brain kind of just like covers that stuff up and puts it away. But it's still there in the background where there's triggers that will make it hurt,
Super sensitive.
Yes. And I went through EMDR therapy and learned that and realized, oh my God, there's all this stuff that I didn't even know was in there You
I
know?
just remembered your EMDR therapy joke. Sorry.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no. That one, that's one of the jokes that somebody was like, yeah, I didn't really care for that one.
Yeah, well, let's stay on track though.
Yeah,
Like, we're getting serious here.
But so, yeah, I mean, that's like, look, I've always been able to laugh about everything, but there were certain parts of my personality that I wasn't, that I didn't realize were affected so much by some of the stuff that happened to me throughout my life when I mean, there's all of this stuff happens. And, while I'm like, I don't want this podcast to be like, oh, Nick, you're in a safe space.
Yes.
You're going to be okay. No, I don't want that.
Hell no.
But I do want to be like, hey, dude, I recognize that shit happens and it's real and I'm going to validate you, but I'm also going to call you like a bitch or a pussy. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Because fucking cry.
Because like when I made that joke to you when we were at A's, about your cousin. Yeah. About your cousin. It's also kind of because I'm like, oh, this is a really sensitive subject.
Dude.
I feel awkward all the times when this kind of shit comes up because I'm like, I don't know, but also like, I know that you know me. If it was somebody else, I wouldn't have said that.
No, God, no.
No.
But why did it even come up? Because we weren't talking about TJ. We were talking about suicide. It somehow came up.
Yeah. And I was like, what do you know about suicide? Yeah. Well, because you knew it was sarcastic, and that's what makes it funny, is because I was not, obviously I know you know a lot about it.
Yeah.
That's why it's funny. It's like, I've made like racist comments that are very ignorant.
Yeah.
To people that I knew of a certain race, like full well knowing that stereotype is ridiculous.
Right.
But using that and saying it in kind of that same way is like, obviously I know that you know a lot about suicide, and that's why it was funny. Cause it was like, okay, you idiot,
Yeah.
and I do that with a lot of different things. And it's like, and that's where I want to get to with comedy, is I want to get to a point where people feel like they know me as well as you know me, because then I could get away with saying whatever the hell I want.
Which takes me back to, you're like, what were you going to say? And I didn't want to interrupt. I wanted you to stay on point. So, and looking back on times when it's just been like me, you, and Stocks, and like the boys just chilling and whatnot, you are filter free.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. How many times do you have to or are you able to now turn that filter on and off? Like, do you, and do you want?
Yeah. I mean, I've had to learn that, dude. Also being Mormon and being a missionary, like, bro,
you had to suppress that shit.
Yeah. I mean, I still had my same sense of humor.
You couldn't be as graphic as you were, though.
No.
Way.
But what's interesting is, like, even living in the Dominican Republic, like, in different language, is that Baxter snoring? Yeah. We can't hear him as much in the microphone because he's from, hi, buddy. I love you too, Bubs.
Smack him.
Yeah, no, dude. I don't smack my dog.
That was a joke from earlier.
Yes.
It's an inside issue.
Yeah, we're not, yeah. I don't just smack my dog. I like him to, oh, he's coming over to say hi. Yeah. Do you want to come up here and say hi, Bubba? I think that living in the Dominican Republic, look, dude, learning.
Here, hold on, because the reason I asked that question, all right, is I was thinking about when we all went to Joshua, right? And that famous night of Bowser that was on episode 2, playing the guitar, singing, just like other jokes happen.
Yeah.
Like, that whole that long extended weekend could have been a fucking movie.
Oh, sorry, buddy.
Like, that was the craziest, most fun time in the middle of nowhere, literally in the middle of nowhere, Joshua Tree. We found our own camping spot. But anyway,
it was awesome.
Like, that's a time to where all of us to just turn that filter. Yeah. Like, we don't freaking need it. Nope.
Well, I think also that period of the, society's history, things were a little bit more chill, and over the last 25 years,
you get more sensitive.
Well, yeah. And I understand. And that's probably, that's not necessarily, like, I don't think it's a bad thing. No. I think there's a lot of people in society that have been, marginalized for a long time, and we're bringing them to the forefront, but I also think that, yeah, we've gone through that, and we need to bring everybody into the same category and say, hey, you want to be part of the team? We got to be able to make fun of you.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be willing to make fun of yourself. And I think, like, going back to my original point is I think, like, you know, kids that get bullied, you know, like, dude, if you're getting bullied, like, how can you bully a kid that makes fun of himself?
You can't.
Right, exactly. Right. Because anything the bully's going to say is just not going to affect the kid, you know? And I think that, you know, there's been a lot of like, look, I'm not trying to say
Also sorry to interrupt, but actually I'm not sorry to interrupt. Then there are people that cannot either defend themselves or make fun of themselves. But that's when the other person needs to be able to identify that. Like,
yes. Yeah, of course.
Can do that shit.
Yes.
You know?
And as a society, it's, you know, as citizens in the society, we need to stick up for people like that.
Right.
Right. I get it. You know, but there's also a difference between, like, you know, bullying or not, you know, and picking on somebody versus, you know, teasing somebody that's your friend.
It's like a route roasting.
Yes, exactly. You know, so yeah, there's a big difference there, you know, and dude, I personally think roasting is like, I want people to roast me and I want them to be really good.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, dude,
roast you at your 50th birthday
dude,
party.
come up with great ones, bro.
I roasted my dad at his 50th when I was 17 years old. And then I roasted him again at his 70th birthday party or his 75th.
Oh, dude, we're gonna have there's gonna be a stage for my 50th. It'll be a party. There will be comedians there. But yeah, it'll happen. It may not be a big production, but there will be that. Dude, that's 2.5 years from now. Yeah, that's gonna happen. Yeah, that'll happen.
That'll be easy for me. It's easier when I know the person.
Yeah, and you can write all that shit, dude. I'm down with it. I know we wanted to keep this podcast shorter
today.
And I'm good with the you know, where we're at right now. And I think we covered some good topics. I think we covered what we wanted to cover. And you know, I just want you to know that I love doing this podcast with you, bro. I think this is great. Dude, it was like an epiphany the one day that I was just sitting there on my couch and I've been wanting to do a podcast for years. And I was like, and I tried with a couple of buddies and it just wasn't the right vibe. And then your name came to me and I was like, dude, that, like, it was all of a sudden like, that is the only option. That is the only person. And then I reached out to you and I was like, hey, dude, and you're like, hell yeah.
Right away.
Absolutely. And I was like, all right, the universe is coming together. That's another thing, man, is there's been a few points in my life when I've made a certain decision to do something and everything just kind of came together. And this is one of those times, right? Now, it doesn't mean that there's not obstacles.
Right.
But I mean, dude, like the message I got from hopefully our future guest, maybe next week, Kenny, what's his last name?
Yeah.
He hit me up and was like, dude, I'm stoked on your podcast. I want to talk about some gnarly stuff.
I cannot fucking wait for that shit.
So yeah.
If you're in for a good one, clearly we already know what's going on.
Dude. I'm gonna read part of his text and then we'll end on that.
Is it gonna have like a teaser or a spoiler?
It's gonna be a teaser. Okay. And it's he said there has never been any disclosure about all the fun, juicy stuff. Like the trip to Vegas, the Playboy models, prostitutes and porn stars, drugs, jets, and extramarital affairs.
Fuck yes.
Yeah. And I'm gonna throw in another one.
Murder. Yeah. And he's not fucking joking.
Yeah. All right. We're signing off. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, Nico.
Love you, bro.
Love you, guy. Peace out.